spiraling down.
What?
I was saying, that phrase of spiraling down.
Right. Right. Engage. And we're already doing it. The point is to become aware of what we're doing. And in a more respectful, health encouraging way. You know, those are my pillars that put us in the gate, that allow us to see through the door into the universe that we really want to be in, right?
Which is the center. Those pillars.
The pillars are respect and encouraging health. I want it to be completely respectful. Like, it doesn't have to be any different, but I want to encourage my most healthy experience in myself. And in order to do that, I have to be sensing. I have to be aware. I have to engage the crucible of my own attention into my sensate field of what it is that I'm doing. This is where I was trying to lead the witness.
Can you say that last sentence again? What you're trying to do is?
Yeah, what I'm trying to do, I want to allow, basically because it's the most ecstatic thing that I can do, I want to allow that this experience, that my being, which is not separate from Source, it's not all of what Source is, but it's Source from right here. It's God from right here. And it's worthy. You know, here we are. We got handed the contract to come in and do this. You know, God bless us that we've been blessed to come in and be ourselves, right? And you're really different than I am. You know, you're a different expression. And I need to be able to respect. This is how Source gets to expand. You're an unknown to me. And not only that, I'm an unknown to me. If I could start here with this experience of, there's so much that I'm not aware of in what I'm doing. And I see that not as a judgment, but as an invitation to my own attention. It's the one thing I have somewhat of a handle on, is my experience. I can reject and I can accept. That's like a big responsibility. Can I take responsibility for what I'm rejecting and what I'm accepting? First of all, I have to become conscious of it. You know? Can I allow myself to feel? And how do I know? How do I know what I'm accepting or rejecting? How do I know? How do you know? Yeah, so I keep talking about this holding open the gate.
What do you mean by holding open the gate?
There's where we are in our usual daily contracted universe that is contangled and difficult and where we're bumbling along, and we're not necessarily very centered, and we don't feel ourselves to be one with Source. That's kind of how we tend to live our lives, and we're struggling and all of that. And there is, what our hearts, seems to me, what my heart desires, and I don't think I'm alone, what my heart desires is to actually know myself to be in a universe that is completely coherent and knows what it's doing and is trustworthy, and that I can be engaged in it, and that I feel nourished, and that all of my relationships are they may be, things that I don't understand, but I can feel that that there's something that's alive in them and that's trustworthy, and that the whole as a tremendous unknown is also like alive and trustworthy and learning and evolving. And I mean, this is what we really want. We want to be in the ecstatic universe.
Yes.
And we tend to find ourselves in the static universe.
Yes.
And I think, for me, what's holding open the gate is these two pillars, respect and encouraging health. But I wanted to talk about static and ecstatic, because I think it's really interesting. And next time we gather, when I talk about the geometry, next one is about the geometry, I'm going to talk about the fact that we are the keyhole and how that functions. The keyhole is a shape, and geometry is shape. It's not just one shape, it's all kinds of shapes, but just a little thing about next time. Okay, but for this time, the static and ecstatic, where we get stuck, where we get stuck is where we think it's just one thing. Where we think that we're stuck is where it's static. It's not the same thing as being still. Still is part of a dynamic. And the word static can mean stillness. But the meaning in the word static that I mean, there are several meanings in the word static. There's stuckness. There's also just kind of like, like white noise static, where there's just so much noise that you can't make definition. You can't find the definition. It's almost like homogeneity, too. It's a kind of staticness. It's where becomes white noise or white milk. So staticness is also a kind of slavery. Any way that we think that we're being enslaved or that we're stuck, there's all kinds of ways that we kind of have projected out that we are being enslaved by others, by powers that be, or by, or by history even, that we're a slave to the condition as we're enslaved to the culture. We're wage slaves, for instance. We have to get a job in order to survive. We're survival slaves. In other words, these are all ways that staticness is kind of it captures our energy. And it fixates it. Whatever static is fixated, and it thinks that it's just one thing.
Right.
The truth is it's dynamic. The truth is that this universe is unknown at every moment and revealing itself, right? Mm-hmm. The oneness is infinite, is infinity. The oneness is infinity. That's where the truth is. It's not just, the oneness is not one thing.
Right.
It's, the paradox is what's really true, right?
Multiverse.
The multiverse, the omniverse, it's infinite, and it's infinities of infinites, infinity of infinities. And, that's where your mind can actually kind of get a little blown apart. But
I like that phrase though.
What?
Yeah, I like that phrase.
An infinity of infinities.
Yeah.
Yeah, infinities at every level of scale. So and to be able to start to feel that that's true creates ecstasy. It's like it gets you out of static. You can kind of hear in the ek part of ecstasy that it's actually extracting you from the static part, that anything that's fixated, you're ecstasy. And ecstasy is not static. It's like the opposite of static.